it's actually been quite interesting to be here at the IST UV Days because, I mean, you see products, you see applications, you see samples, you see technology, and I think what I like the most is that you talk to interesting people. And the next gentleman I'm going to talk to, he is actually, is it the managing director?
It is.
Managing director of IST Intech, and you're based in the UK. So welcome, Simon.
Hi, good morning.
Good to see you.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, you just flew in yesterday evening.
I did last night, yes.
Yeah,
from,
and you
from Heathrow.
From Heathrow, and you were busy visiting your new building yesterday, right?
That's right. Yes. So it's quite exciting. So we just signed a new lease on a new building about 3 weeks ago. And I went yesterday to see the progress of the refurbishments and the fit outs that they're doing for us. And we should get the keys at the end of July with a view to moving in about September.
You have been with IST Intech for 4 years, you told me.
That's correct.
But I was just thinking, because I mean, there's been a lot of changes. Just the last year you have changed name, and now you're changing location. Is that just a sign of success and how you're developing?
I mean, we're very fortunate that certainly the UV market is an expanding market, but the LED market is really truly growing. The applications for us are more industrial applications now, so outside of the traditional printing markets, and so we're looking at things like composite repair, auto refinish, which is just fabulous for us. The name change, I think, has been coming for a while. We've been looking to collaborate even deeper with IST Mets. I mean, they're our great friends, great partners, right? And so we felt that adding the IST into our name was a real way of signifying the fact that we are those great partners and that we've got those collaborations. And what we do, we bring together a world-class portfolio of lamp-based UV products, LED-based products, Excimer-based products that really services well. So, and we're finding that the IST brand is giving us also a leg up in certain markets where we weren't quite so well known, right? So yeah, excellent.
We're going to talk about some of the other industries in a second, but I can't help think about, because when I spoke to some of your colleagues yesterday evening, it seemed also that the IST Intech and the IST family is something that, of course, when you, let's say, inherit names or you use names, it's like there's a culture thing that you need to adapt to it. So how does that work in reality between the Germans and the Brits?
So I think there's a real healthy competition culturally. Of course. Yeah, of course. The Germans are renowned for their engineering. The British are renowned for sort of inventive engineering, ingenuity, and so I think that's a real healthy competition. Sometimes I think that you know, the Germans here are the least Germans we know. They're so friendly, and we're always very welcome here. So we always get on really well. So the cultural barriers are there, but actually I think that really helps for a healthy relationship.
But I mean, it also takes advantage, as you say, IST is a very well-known brand in at least some industries, right? So from that perspective, it gives you a lot of, let's say, freebies, right?
Yeah, yes, I think certainly in maybe in North America particularly, I think IST as a brand was much better known than our former name, which is Integration Technology. So I think that that has really helped open some doors. What I found is that at a couple of shows in North America, people would come up to our exhibition stand because of the IST name. They'd be like, oh, I know who you are, but then they would get into the discussions around the Intech products that we have in that portfolio. So it really did help people bring, because IST obviously is very well known for really high quality, high reliable products, and that's certainly a brand that we're happy to be associated with.
That's great. And we're standing in front of actually an example of what you do.
That's correct.
So here you have an array of lamps that is basically curing, I think it's some kind of paper product that looks like something like this. But this is what you produce, basically.
It is,
right?
yeah. So you can see that the beauty of our product is it's very modular. Yeah. So we generally have very simple building blocks for our products. That means that we basically build up our products in 30mm sections, and then they can also obviously be simply lined up together to create longer lamp arrays. that's the foundation of certainly our product range, is the fact that it is very modular. And so we can be very flexible in the products that we supply to the customer.
And that leads to what we also spoke about before the cameras turned on, that maybe the printing industry, maybe the printing industry has been an important and continues to be an important market, but with the modularity and the need for UV in a lot of different applications, opens up an even further market for you guys,
absolutely,
right?
and actually it's a problem as well, right? But it's a nice problem to have. So the emerging applications for UV curing are so broad, and new ones emerge every day, that it's almost difficult to decide on your strategy of where you're going to put your sales resources, in terms of which market you're going to back.
Yeah. And is it, sorry to interrupt, but isn't it worth enough? Because I mean, when we saw the presentation from, I think it was Tim yesterday that presented the projections of the growth opportunities in the market, isn't it worth investing in more than just a few markets?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, okay.
The printing applications pay the bills, right? So I think when I took over 4 years ago, I would say 95% of the products that we manufactured were still sold to customers in graphical printing applications. I would say now that's maybe more like 80%. So what we've done is we've grown into other areas, and the industrial applications, particularly things like auto refinish, which is paint and dent and scratch repair for vehicles, and composite repair for things like wind turbine blades, for things like outboard motor covers, all of that is potentially huge business. Particularly in North America, where auto refinish, out on the west coast
big,
in
right?
California, it's huge market.
Yeah.
Right?
And as just mentioned, also your own background is not from the printing industry. No. So I take that when your eyes lit up, is that because you see opportunities in your own industry, or?
Well, what it means is I have some contacts in that industry, right? But
so that's grabbing opportunities, basically, right?
Yeah. So I spent many years in Detroit, working in the North American market for automotive. I was in engine and transmission design and development for 15 years.
So let's say if you look at the collaboration with the Germans that we spoke about in the beginning, how do you collaborate? I mean, what is it you could?
We're stood right now in what is the new LED lab, right? And what that is a collaboration between IST Metz and IST Intech for the next generation of UV LED curing products. We have a background in different markets, so. Metz is very much in the sheet-fed market, obviously with Heidelberg as a big customer. We operate more in a digital environment, and so what we're trying to do is bring together our expertise in LED development together to be able to build the building blocks of the next generation. Right?
So basically now it's more like two different technologies, and now we're merging the technologies.
In a way, I think that we've been, because of the different applications of the LED that we've been working on, we have had different products, and of course the idea now with the LED lab is to bring that together so that we can actually have the foundations of a simple modular structure that allows both Metz and Intech to build products in the markets with which they're known, right?
One thing I can't help think about is that if you look back at UV curing, both from the mercury lamps, but now also moving into the LED, I can't help think about that in the printing industry. It's been a little bit of a concern with photo initiators, especially if you have packaging that is in direct foot contact and things like that. But when I see some of the posters here, it seems that the frequencies you address is much wider than it used to be. So basically, I guess that you can have fewer photo initiators in the ink, and that both makes the ink cheaper. But I think it's also an advantage when it comes to compliance, right?
Absolutely. I mean, that's a win-win, right? And of course, the goal would be to reduce the initiators as much as possible. I'm not a chemist, right? But I'm sure.
But we can talk about it anyway.
You spoke to Holly about that, right? But I mean, absolutely. And of course the the ultimate goal really is to be able to produce a multi-wavelength LED product that has the same characteristics as a mercury lamp, right? That is really where we're trying to get to. So the foundation of the LED lab, for example, is to try and build on the future technology, right? I mean, we have some great products today, but we need to make sure that we have some great products in 3 and 5 years' time, and that really is going to be having different wavelength LED chips on the same module in the same product.
Are you also, because I mean, there's legislators that are looking into to the UV thing, of course, right? But I was just thinking, do you also, as IST Group, also look into what impact UV can have on the finished product? I mean, from, you know, if you think about that, you know, some in the European Union believe that and I don't think there's an evidence for it yet, but that it could have cause of cancer, for example, right?
Yeah.
Is that something that you look into, how to see whether it's true or not true?
I think you know, I think we always try and look at certainly the research on what is available.
But not something you do yourself.
No, I don't think so. I mean, we're not chemists per se, right? I mean, we
and you don't produce the inks, by the way.
No, we don't. No, so really, we take the lead from the chemistry manufacturers on what it is that they need. All I know is that, you know, they are now. The power with which you need to initiate reactions is much lower, and I believe that is a development of the ink and the less initiators that's required and things like that.
And as far as I also know, I think that a lot of both American food regulators and also European food regulators are much more positive towards LED today, and I think actually you can have compliance, not direct contact, but still now you can do it on food products.
Yes, you can, and again, you know, I'm probably not the right person to talk to about necessarily the ins and outs of the chemistry of the inks and the coatings.
No, but you're
for
depending
example.
on it, because basically when you sell a product, you need to be sure that it serves the purpose.
So yeah, I mean, I know that what we are. Where it comes in for us is to make sure that the inks and the coatings are fully cured, right? That's
because then you don't have anything that should go out, right?
Then at least we can guarantee that there isn't any residual ink that is transferred through food packaging, for example. Things like these cups that you buy at football stadiums, right? They're all printed directly onto the cup, and you have to be careful that the ink is okay on things like
100%. The management team in the company, and including yourself, even though you're maybe tiny little bit more older than the German team, but it seems that you have a very agile and forward-looking team, right?
Absolutely, and I think that's a great thing for the whole organisation. You know, let's be honest. Sometimes printing may be a little bit old-fashioned in certain areas, and
No way.
Not saying that the automotive industry was hardly leaps and bounds in terms of technology, right? But yeah, I think that was really one of the reasons why certainly Christian Metz was keen to bring me into the organisation, was that actually I'm not so focused directly on printing applications, and my strengths were very much in commercialising new technology and commercialising technology into new markets. And that's exactly what we're trying to do at Intech. We're very, very well known for good, you know, for excellent quality, reliable products in a digital graphical market. One of our biggest customers is Swiss, right? So it's like they only accept the best quality. But they need people in the organisation that can look beyond printing and can look to what is going to the UV curing applications of the future. What is going to be in 5 years? We're looking at, I mean, we looked at everything. We produced virus sanitizers in COVID. You know, we've got units that they bolt to the bottom of trucks for curing white lines on the road. I mean, the applications now for UV are just endless. Absolutely endless.
And I guess that's why you said it's still fun to be here, right?
Well, it is. It is really good fun, you know, because new things are happening every day. And for me, we have a completely untapped market in North America, right? I mean, as far as I'm concerned, our North American business should be bigger than the rest of our business combined.
Yeah.
And at the moment, our North American business probably accounts for maybe 10-15% of our total revenue.
So
we've
opportunities
got
are vast
really,
right now.
really vast growth opportunities in that market. And certainly the name change that we made to IST Intech has just given us that sort of leg up in North America, I think, where certainly, as I said, the IST brand was better known.
Fantastic.
Thank you very
sir.
much. Great to meet you.
Likewise.
Thank you.